Hi, good morning, everybody. So, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. So, for today's topic in Module 7, we are going to discuss about the Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory of development. So, what are the content of this Module 7? So, first, A. Stages of psychoanalytic theory of Sigmund Freud. And then B, Freud identified the components of personality components or personality characteristics. And then C, the structure of humankind. So what are under in A? So under A is are the stages, the behavior, the fixation, the developmental outcomes, and personality. And then the under B, so it is the components of personality and characteristics. So we are going to discuss you and give you the informations what are the components of personality and characteristics. So under C, it is more likely to um, comprehensive technique. So we will give you pictures, and then after that there are questions to be given by our reporters. So these are the questions: what does the picture represent, and what do you see, and is there any relationship? So with this, it would be helpful for us to understand more about this subject.
Our sex drive, which Freud called the libido, focuses on different stages or phase, which is the oral, anal, phallic latency, and the genital. If our experiences during any of this stage is traumatic, we might develop fixation later in life, such as neurosis, dependencies, addictions, or depression. The oral phase from age 0 to 1. In the first year of our lives, we discover the world through our oral senses. Our main pleasure comes from sucking out in our mother's breast or in a bottle or falsified. The consequences of an oral fixation could be oral aggressive. They chew too much, which they can chew on objects such as pens or t-shirt colors. Second is the oral passive, taking up oral activities such as smoking, eating, drinking, or kissing too much. Freud believed that individuals who know that has an oral fixation may have a passive or manipulative personality. Oral receptive or oral personality, if properly developed, will develop sense of trust and comfort. The erogenous zone of this is or stage or the oral stage is the mouth. For example, Hans is weaned off by his mother's breast without trauma. Ed's mother stops feeding him within 4 months of birth, which is too early, and is often left home when she is hungry. Hans becomes healthy and independent adult. Ed suffers some trauma and develops oral fixation. He tries to compensate for it by chewing gum all the time. Ada or Anne spends her entire life looking for oral stimulation. She was denied as an infant and therefore developed manipulative and addictive personality. Next is the anal stage or phase from age 1 to 3 years of old. The primary focus of our libido at this age is the control of the bladder and bowel movements. We have to learn how to use the toilet. For example, Hans' parents praises his attempt to use the toilet and encourage to learn at his own pace. Ed's parents force potty training on him too early and punishes him from mistakes. Ada's parents neglected any efforts of potty training entirely. Hans developed competent personality and a good balanced relationship with authority. Ed developed an anal retentive personality and he becomes over controlling as an adult. Disgust to his own body. and a tendency to obey authority. While Ada develops an anal expulsive personality, she becomes messy, disorganized, inconsiderate of others' feelings, and rebellious against authority. The erogenous zone of this anal stage is the anus. Next is the phallic stage, or ages starts from ages 3 to 6 years old. It is the awareness of sexual organs, interested in what makes boys and girl different. This stage, it focuses on the genitals. Freud argued that during this stage, boys see their fathers as their competitors for the affection of their mothers. He defined this as attraction as the Oedipus complex. Freud argued that the reasons boys or males did not express their affection to their mother is because of the fear that the father will castrate if the child expresses his jealousy of his father, which Freud defined as castration anxiety. He believed that boys or males who get fixated or stuck in the Oedipus in the phallic stage may be aggressive or becomes aggressive as adults. Freud defined the electric complex, or girls are attracted to their fathers and see their mothers as competitors or competition for their father's affection. Developmental outcomes of this stage is sexual deviances, weak or confused sexual identity. The erogenous zone is the genitals.
So this is the fourth stage, latency, 6 years old and puberty. So the behavior of the child, a period of suspended or repressed sexual activity and urges energy shift to physical and intellectual academic activities. So in this stage, the child have a suspended period or privilege, and also they have the repressed sexuality or overcome the sexual activity. So the fixation of this stage, the child have no psychosexual fixation occurs. So the fixation is the act or process or the result of fixing themselves. Then the developmental outcome or personality in this stage, the child, boys and girls peer group, heterogeneous relationships, sexual identity, develop social and communication skills, self-confidence, and defense mechanisms. So in this stage, the child have already know the boys and girls peer groups, and also the heterogeneous relationships, and also they know the sexual identity and develop social and also their communication skills. And the last is the self-confidence within themselves or within the society. So the erogenous zone of this stage, sexual energy is directed to physical and intellectual pursuits and social life. So the sexual energy of the child are directed into physical and intellectual. So direct na siya, no? Madirect ang iyahang energy. So the fifth one is the genital, puberty onward. So the behavior of the child, sexual interest once again awakened towards opposite sex. Then, the fixation of this stage, role confusions, and the developmental outcome or personality of the genital. If the development has been successfully during the early stages, it leads to marriage, mature sexuality, and the birth and rearing children, develop well-balanced life, warm and caring personality. So in this stage, if the child had been successfully developed during their stages, they know how to lead or they know how to handle when they have a partner or having a marriage with one another, and their their personality were warm and care. no, or caring and warm personality. And also they know how to give their children, no, they know how to develop their children, or they teach within their children. So the erogenous of this stage is finding a lifetime partner, vocational professions, and career paths. So in this stage, the child were already find, or we they finding their lifetime partner. So pang matagalan, no, nangita na sila ka partner to makadayon niya in the future, no. Then the profession, so ang career path, so na sila career path.
So, according to Sigmund Freud, there are three components of personality under the psychoanalytic theory. First is the id, or the id personality. It develops during our childhood or babyhood. It is purely based in instincts. It is what we are born with. Meaning, kanina personality is na nataan ni pagkahimog sa nato. Mo ni ang first ma-develop. It is the biological component of our personality that includes our instincts. It is very essential for the baby's needs. It is very essential for the gratification of the baby's needs. So what is gratification? Gratification means pleasure or satisfaction. So why the id personality is essential to baby's need? It is because the id personality is the only personality that a baby have, which is to be pleasure or be satisfied of his needs. For example, a crying hungry baby. So what does the baby needs, diba? Ang iyang kinahanglan is mabusog siya. So unsaon man siya pagpabusog, diba? Through patutoy, breastfeeding, or feeding through a bottle. So this supports the idea of the pleasure principle. So what is pleasure principle? So pleasure principle is needs it needs an immediate gratification or satisfaction of one's own need, like the baby. It needs an immediate satisfaction so that mahilom siya og hilag. So kinahanglan mabusog siya through breastfeeding. And it is not oriented towards considering what is the reality nor the needs of others. Why? Because as a baby, di ba, as a katong bata naghilag, iyahang kuan is mabusog siya. Wa siya ipake kung unsa iyang gibuhat sa mama. Basta ang iyaha, mabusog siya. Di ba? It only minds what pleasure it only minds what pleasures him. That is why it is based in the idea of the pleasure principle. It is based in the concept of I love myself, I, me, or my concept. So the next personality to develop is the ego personality. It develops during our toddlerhood or preschooler. It is based in the reality principle. So what is reality principle? Reality principle is the awareness of the needs of others, or the idea that the desires of id is or must be satisfied in a method that is both socially appropriate and realistic. It is conscious of the surroundings and environment. It makes the decision and faces the consequences, which operates according to the reality principle. It is the practical application and considers the best response to situation. It is who we think we are that has the capability to make decisions between the id or the superego of whom or what to follow. It has the idea or the concept of you, they, and we concept. So the last personality to develop is the superego. It develops at the end of the Felix phallic stage and onward. It is based on the moral aspect. So it is like an internal judge within you that tells you what is right and wrong, what is socially acceptable to think, feel, um, do, or act according to real world rules, norms, and moral values. It develops from the experiences of the child as it grows and develops. It is likened to be our conscience and considers an influence of what is considered to be right or wrong in the society. It represents your conscience or view of what is considered wrong. It is like a little angel whispering on your right shoulder of what is the right thing to do. It is basically based on the concept of you, they, we of what is right and wrong. So again, it is your natural impulses, and the superego is a personality that based on the moral principle or what the society says it's okay, while the ego is based on the reality principle or what you end up doing.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Geraldine Ababa, and today I will discuss about the Freud's structure of human mind. So, what does the picture represent, or what do you see? So, sa atong nakita sa picture, diba, is ulo sa tao, and sa sulod ana is naimurag eyes, diba? So, the picture is represents the human mind. Next, is there a relationship between the part that is submerged and that part is surfaced or emerged? So, sa atong nakita, ang large portion sa eyes is gasubmerge siya sa water. While ang kaning gamay, kaning white, is emerging from the surface of the water. Ano siya. So, there are three structures of human mind. The conscious, pre-conscious, and unconscious. So, unconscious is awareness of everything. Comprises a very small part of personality. So, ang kaning conscious is awake siya or able to understand what is happening around us. It's either the fact, feelings, or characteristics of human. It also includes the thoughts that we are aware of everyday thinking or perceptions. Mao na ang conscious. Sa pre-conscious naman is comprised of information readily available when needed, but not actively available in conscious mind. So, ang kaning conscious, or ang kaning pre-conscious is the storage point for the storage point for any recent memories needed for quick recall, or mga memories nimo sa una, or stored knowledge nimo, or mga experiences nga imong na feel, imong na experience. Experience. So like for example, nay someone nga nangutana sa imong telephone number, 'di ba? Direct gyud siya nimong masulti without thinking. May mangutana sa imong lugar, kung taga-asa ka, name sa imong parents, 'di ba? Sa asa ka nag-eskwela. So, mo na siya ang pre-conscious, stored knowledge na siya. Nana siya sa imong huna-huna. Di na ka kinahanglan nga maghuna-huna pa kapag ayo nga unsa di ay to, unsa dito taga-asa da ay ko, kasi dito pangan sa akong mama, ninana, di ba? Dili na no need na siya. Is stored knowledge man mo na siya ang pre-conscious na sa atong huna-huna daan. So, pre-conscious is murag existing in the mind but not consciously known or felt. Mo na siya ang conscious or subconscious. So the last is the unconscious. Largely comprise the human thoughts, experiences, beliefs, feelings, impulses, experience of extreme anxiety, pain, and strong emotions. So, ang kaning unconscious is inaccessible to our consciousness and inaccessible to our consciousness, which affect behavior and our emotions. So, like for example, 'di ba, sa strong emotions sa unconsciousness, mag-cite tag example like for example, sa imong friends and nag-away mo sa imong friends and then giingnan kaniya nga salamat na lang sa friendship, 'di ba? So kana pa lang na word is sakit na kay na paminaw, 'di ba? Maura na siya nga word, pila ra ka word, pero billions ang imong na feel nga kasakit nga hantod karon imo gihapon gidala-dala, diba? Makakause siya og trauma, makakause siya og trauma sa usa ka tawo, diba? Mo na ing ana nga preconscious sa strong emotions, mga experience nimo nga kasakit nga wa ka na aware nga mahitabo to, wa ka na aware nga kanang ingon adto di ay to, mo na siya ang unconscious. Unconscious is all of our memories and past experience reside. Mo na ang unconscious. So, this three structure of human mind is working together that create our reality. So, as a human, we need to maintain or we need to limit or handle our emotions or feelings, especially in our mind, in order for us to become a better individual. And that could be all for today. Thank you.